Hello, folks. This is Microwaved One of the S.E.E paper. Today I'm here with Hurdsell, one of the big players of CCNet. He's been around for quite a long time, one of the greatest PvP players we've seen in a while, and one of the general military tacticianers, and one of the best CCNet players, frankly, in general. How's it to be on the show, Hurdsell?
Feels good. Liking it. Been watching lots of the episodes. Nice to join.
I see. Well, we're going to be diving into a lot of topics today. We're going to be looking at Quintessence explicitly from your view into Quintessence. We're going to dive into a
Yeah,
little bit of your player history and maybe just some generals all and around. So,
yeah,
without
yeah,
further ado, let's get started. So, Herzl, obviously you've been playing for a long time. When did you start and
yeah.
where did you start in CCNet?
Oh, I started uh 2021 maybe, so 4 years ago, long time. I started in Britain actually before G&E times, and then we
I see.
merged into Nordic Empire, became a Nordic Empire soldier. And just ever since then, just lived in Britain for like years, Rome, all throughout. And then I moved to the mighty South America
Hmm.
to join Matt's BR. And then joined Thrasio for a bit, and then made Gwyn.
I see. Now, when you were making Quintessence, what was the main inspiration for you to form the nation? Obviously, a lot of people say now, like, Quintessence was always close to kind of its, like, mother nation, Thracia. What was the spur? What made you want to separate?
Well, Thrasio is a very old nation with lots of or like the leadership that at the time was still playing but were very dormant in terms of they had their goals and it was no longer sieging and doing what they wanted. They were very aligned with protecting their allies, and we wanted to have fun and just like play like with our friends and do what we wanted. So
Hmm.
and
Now, when you
we
say,
were a big
no,
yeah.
continue.
Like being a like we were lots of grinders. Like at the time, it was Bunlick, OG Torda, Mr. Awesome with a founding, and like myself with the founding four, and then Hank
Hmm.
joined us, and it was a big force of grinders. So we had like the backing to do a lot of whatever we wanted. So we
I
decided
see.
to do it.
Now, when you started Quintessence Syndicate, obviously at first you started to be acclaimed to be a third-party nation, a neutral nation. What were your goals
Yeah.
then, and how have they evolved?
Uh, uh, we had some long line beef with the old like OE decided they wanted to not be very opening and inviting, and
Hmm.
they tried to spy on us actually early on, so
Really?
they became an early. They yeah, we had Stid Stuma who
Why do you think
who came.
why do you think they showed aggression towards you?
They just I don't know they just I mean to be fair we didn't really help it we like at the very start of Quim we killed everyone and anyone, so it probably didn't
Ah, I
help,
see.
but they took very early aggression stance.
Oh. Now,
But yeah.
obviously, that's not the same now, as both OE and Quintessence are now in the New World Order. What kind of happened for Quintessence's mood to change?
Well, I was banned at the time, so it wasn't one of my
Really?
decisions, but it was I don't even know what it was, to be fair. I think it was that our I think it was just Rome, to be honest. For Quinn at least, Rome became a very aggressive and not you can't really say toxic because it's these days it's very two sided in terms of they're like a lot of people don't respect each other's like the fact that everyone's a person. So people are quite horrible to each other these days, but
Hmm.
I just think that it wasn't I just think that Rome, or like, in my opinion at least, I don't really know about the insides of Rome, but in my opinion, Rome were very horrible to like Siberium and stuff. Whereas I think Siberium's not, even though with the recent this weekend occupying them and stuff, I don't think Siberium's a bad nation. I think they've worked hard to get to the where they were. I used to be friends with Berger, lived with Berger for a while. Um, I don't think any of them are bad people. I think Siberium's got good motives and doing what they think is fun, and I support that. But
I see.
I don't know. I think it got to the point where Rome. It was time for like Rome to like we cared more about hurting Rome than hurting other people and doing that. So
I see. Now, for quite some time before Quintessence and the rest of Coalition merged to form New World Order, a lot of the time people simply called Quintessence just another COA member, because often Quintessence would show a lot of aggression, again, rightfully so, as some may say, to Rome and other alliance nations. How do you defend that? How do you say, no, we weren't Coalition? Were you always
um,
Coalition?
we were never always coalition, but we didn't. Obviously, Thracia has always the main reason they fought that was because Thracia was always Thracia is our sister nation. We've always been friends with Thracia. We will never ever be anything but close as we can to Thracia. Thracia's never done anything wrong to us. They supported us, or most of them supported us when we wanted our own nation. They've not done anything to betray from that. So from that point of view, you can argue that we were co-op, but it, like in our side, we didn't care. Like all of the co nations, we we seized Grammacuxa, which with Rome at one
Uh-huh.
point. Um, we were never like peaceful with them, but
I
we
see.
just we did what we wanted. We took their help, and like it got to the point where with regions and stuff, it's hard to win as a nation and a couple allies. Whereas if an alliance goes, yeah, we'll help you if you come to the siege. It's like I'd rather take the alliance, like the help.
Mhm.
So
Now, another thing, especially in relation to coalition, is obviously once Quintessence and its sphere joined with coalition to form the New World Order, alliance members, and I will confess myself, have just been calling New World Order Big COA. It's just a
I've
big
been seeing that.
coalition. Is
I've
that
been
correct?
seeing that. It's run very differently. I
Really?
think. Oh, I mean, as the Alliance spies know, um, they've got spies everywhere. But I think as they know, they can't see it from there. But behind closed doors, it's run very differently. It's
I
run
see.
fairly. It's run with everyone gets their say in there, which is a good thing. And some nations maybe overstep their say, but I mean everyone gets their fair share of opinion and there, which from when I was in Koa, it was very a couple nations ran it and other nations asked for stuff, whereas here in New Odal we pool a lot of resources for a lot of different things.
I see. But when it comes to terms of just player base, it is generally a vast majority of coalition, correct?
Um,
Like,
no alliance, no coalition's nations left after the merge, if that
really?
makes sense. Well,
Hmm.
every coalition came with us.
I see. Now, speaking kind of like of alliance coalition ties, obviously this wasn't very recent, but I believe either two, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, uh, when Quintessence had just entered South America and was just then planning on attacking various nations, Quintessence obviously attacked Caribbean Empire, and very quickly Caribbean flipped and joined the Quintessence side. Now, obviously, you
Yeah,
were a member of ETM, and there have been a lot of tensions between, I know a lot of former ETM members in Quint, and, former cultist members in the then Caribbean Empire. How did that kind of
yeah.
pan out? How did that alliance come to be? And was
Well,
it ever strong?
If I'm completely honest with you, I now am with, for example, Torda and Bunlick, who were two people that were very against ETM at the time because of people like Matt's. Well,
Well,
Matt wasn't
obviously
the
they
whole reason.
left Cultist early,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
left
Like
Caribbean.
they didn't agree with their views and some of their decisions, so they decided to leave. So I don't have anything against, for example, anyone there. But I thought that going there and fighting them was going to solve my whole issue with. I was upset about ETM. I thought they treated ETM badly,
Hmm.
but they just I just don't. Yeah, I thought it was going to solve a lot of issues, and like me thinking that they treated ETM wrong. But after we went and we occupied them, I realised that it was no longer cultists that came and occupied us for that time. So I
I see.
realised, and when we reached out and we said that we can help you and we're not here to destroy you at the end of the day, and I think they saw that we had things to offer them, and we've worked with them ever since we've been close with them and we've given them anything they've needed. So
See. Now, obviously, after you occupied and then joined or allied to Caribbean, you kind of began a conquest against the other alliance nation in South America, that obviously being Ironwood. I believe you occupied Ironwood for about 2 weeks, but then it was about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks ago, the tables turned. Rome occupied the Quintessence homeland, and Ironwood occupied the South American territories. I've talked to a few different Quintessence members about this, and they say the feeling was always the same during the occupation. How did you feel during the occupation? Was there sadness? Was there glum? What was the general feel?
of who Ironwood.
Oh, no, of Quintessence.
Oh, while we were occupied.
Yes.
I was banned. I was banned I shot a dreadnought into a siege zone. Uh, when
Uh-huh.
I'll be fully transparent with you. It was a mechanic that had been used before, but not under the circumstances of SOI, and
Uh-huh.
we thought it would be all right because it had been done before by Siberium, for example, to us in Iceland, and we thought it'd be all right, but um, it wasn't, and like a couple of us were banned for it. All appealed and all got unbanned, but at the time, a new member, Boxy, had joined us, and Hank, who led the fort, wasn't very happy about it. So he decided to turn the perms off for a bit because he didn't trust Boxy.
Uh-huh.
In all honesty. Um, and then he got banned, so we didn't have perms to the fort. It sucked, but we like at the end of the day, we a lot of Quinn's money is in gold and silver and stuff like and like resources like that. So it
Yeah.
wasn't the end of the world. We lost a little bit of money. I won't take that away from Rome. It was smart from them. They did it at the right time. They knew that we were all banned. So
Do you think that the primary reason Quinn lost was because you were all banned?
in my honest opinion, I think so. We wouldn't like Ethereum, we didn't have perms to it. There were very limited players with perms. We didn't. I was banned, so I wasn't able to lead the sieges, the defensive side of it. So that was a hit. Um, our leadership are away at the moment. This sounds like making excuses. I mean, Rome did well. That they were smart. They sieged when they should have. But I think it was a big part of us being banned that helped them win.
You see. Now, obviously, turning again back to South America, this is the South American paper. Um, you, Quintessence, merged with Lusitania. You gained Varpa, you gained the
Yeah.
South American holdings. How did that come to be?
Well, Torda and Bunlick have always been good friends with all of the Lusitanos.
Hmm.
They wanted to slowly, or at the time of merging, they weren't too interested in playing a whole lot. So we offered that they could join us, and we'd help them and do whatever they needed to do there, which we did. We went to Farpa and did a lot there, and then they weren't happy with their fort, so we went and upgraded that again.
Hmm.
We did a lot of work with them,
I
and
see.
Torda and Bunnik have always been friends with them. So it felt natural to. They're a lot. They're very independent over there. They don't rely on us a lot in terms of resources and stuff. But they're under our umbrella, so they're with us. We will fight for them. Their goals are our goals at the end of the day.
I see. Now, for the next little section, I kind of want to zero in on you specifically and some of the other people
Oh
surrounding
God.
you. So obviously,
Yeah,
recently, probably about a month, I believe a month ago, uh, ETM reformed in North America, the second Eternal Mayan Empire. Obviously, you were a member of
yeah.
ETM for a while. Several Quintessence members have been were members of ETM. What was the
Yeah.
feeling when ETM reformed? Have you ever thought about
Um,
joining them? Has anybody else thought about joining them?
I honestly, I've not thought once about going back to ETM.
Really?
ETM was no. Oh, I own Quinn. I'm an owner of Quinn. I don't need to go back to ETM. ETM was ETM. I built with my friend Ray. I don't know if you remember Sexy Ray. I built that with
Yes.
Sexy Ray. I built Viracocha with him. That was our fort. We let ETM use it on the understanding that we'd be able to do what we wanted, and they could do what they wanted, and we just lived there, and we gave them our fort, and it didn't end well. We players from ETM quickly didn't like CE coming back, and we argued a lot with CE. So what happened
Obviously.
happened. I mean, I don't hold any grudges, but I just don't think it's ever anywhere. It's not how it was. They're trying to recreate something that they should let sleep, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, if that's what people want to do, then they can do that. But I won't. I like from the side of Quinn. If they start causing problems, then they will be seen as any other nation on the server.
Now, it was to my understanding when I did my TNT interview, obviously with TNT, that ETM was a member of the New World Order, or was at least very strongly associated with it. What are the current
Um,
relations with them?
I believe they're a New World Order. I don't really. They are a New World Order actually. Yeah, thinking about it.
I see.
They're a New World Order. I don't really communicate much with them. They do their own thing. They're very aligned with Fake Four. They do a lot with him. Um, I don't really have much to do with them anymore at all.
Yeah.
I don't get involved. It's not something that I want. So they're my ally at the end of the day. If they need my time, I'll give them my time. But anything
Hmm.
other than that, I don't have time for.
Yeah. Now, obviously, speaking of Floritania and Fake 4, if it is to my memory, before, right, almost a few days, if not a day before Coalition and New World Order merged, Floritania immediately joined the New World Order and kind of left Coalition for about a day or two until the rest of Coalition merged in. How did that happen? Was Floritania always just the
Um,
first negotiator, or what was the situation with that?
well, with Floritania joined New World Order, not New World Order. Floritania joined the Legion, which was the third side
Yes.
before everything else. They joined us previously because we were doing a lot over there. We were more me and Fake are friends, and he needed my help, and in all honesty, I owed him one from back in ETM days when, even though we were losing, he showed up and tried his best every time. So I owed him one for that. And Canada were knocking on his doorstep and he needed some help. So we offered it to him. Um,
Hmm.
and for him, it was. And Koa was going a lot more dormant defensively, but Fake needed to keep them away from his defensive line. So we did what we could to help him and siege Canada for him.
I see. Now, moving kind of away from North America in general, obviously before you focused a lot about Rome. Rome was the big unifier between the Legion and Coalition. Rome was kind of the big bad, if you want to say that. But obviously, there are a lot of other alliance nations. You have Greenland, you have Canada, which I believe just formed union with Greenland. You
Yeah.
have Ironwood, and Siberium. Obviously, you said very positive things about Siberium and such. What are the feels of the other alliance nations? Obviously, you're in the other tide against them. How do you feel about them?
Um, I don't really. I mean, Canada. I don't really think much of them. I think that they've been fighting a war against fake for a long time. I think that's made them a lot of. I think they're turning into more of a wanting to build and do their own thing nation, which I think is a good thing. I think that there needs to be more nations on the server that want to just do their own thing. But
Hmm.
Greenland, they were in Legion for a bit until they decided to go back to alliance with Rome. Um,
I
what
see.
other alliance nations are there? Like I said, Siberium. I think me and Berger have been friends. I quite like a lot of their nations. They've got the most residents on the server at the moment. They're doing really well.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't really know. Other than that, I think uh, they're enemies at the end of the day. If it's someone to fight. I mean, at the end of the day, Rome are the only people that have always seemed to just. I don't know how to explain it. They just. Oh, I guess Spain as well. Spain's all right. Spain seems to be a new coming up nation. It's exciting to see what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I was just
But
about to speak about Spain. So obviously Spain is the new country to your north. They have
yeah,
a pretty solid fort with St. Augustine. Like I've seen it
yeah.
before, and it's no humble starting fort. Like that is a full construction.
No,
What's the
it
opinion
was.
about Spain?
Well, it was gifted to them by Rome again. I mean, they're in my opinion, they're a Roman vassal, not vassal, but it's a proxy nation for Rome at the end of the day, in my opinion. I think that they're gonna do their own thing, but Rome's got their holders in their forts. Rome owns their siege bases. It's very Rome controlled, which in my opinion it's not a bad thing if it's Rome's helping their friends out. But if they ever want to do their own thing, it's a lot harder
Hmm.
because it's Roman designed, Roman owned.
I see.
So
Again, moving away from kind of alliance nations, I want to focus on some of the more neutral leaning nations. So obviously to your north, there's the Alcac Federation. They've bounced around between sides a lot. What's the opinion about them?
Um, Alchak do a lot of yapping towards us. I think that they might have to have a visit on their front door soon. I mean, they've been asking for it. At the end of the day, they've been doing a lot of yapping.
Hmm.
If they want, Quinn will never shy away from a fight. At the end of the day, if they want to have a siege, then we'll give them a siege. It's not a problem. I mean.
I see.
It's just
So
spending the money and time on them. It's just we've got better things to do at the moment, so they can wait.
I see. Now, moving again away from Europe, moving into the Middle East. Obviously, I've looked a lot
But
about this nation in
I think they're alright.
forums. Yeah, with the
Yeah.
Mashriki Emirate, the big caliphate down there. What's up with that? How do you feel about them?
Oh yeah.
Heard? You there?
Um. Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry, you were lagging. I think they're a decent ally. Um. I think that they well, no, not an ally. They're not an ally, but I think it's Gingful doing what Gingful wants to do, and me and Gingful have been friends for a long time. I've known him since pretty much when I joined the server. I think it's a cool nation. I'll leave them to do what they want to do. To be honest,
I
they
see.
don't go to sieges. They don't go to anything like that. So they can
They
do
do
their
what they
thing.
want.
I'm happy to ignore them.
I see. Now, obviously, again, another big alliance nation, kind of towards
Yeah,
your
yeah. They
east.
can just. I mean, at the end of the day, they seem to have fun. So
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to check that I'm not lagging real quick, because I think I've got hit with a little bit.
you were a little bit, but I think it
Okay.
seems to have sorted itself out a tiny bit.
All right. Well, anyway, kind of towards your east, you have Vanaco. Obviously, they've been a big alliance nation in the past. They've done a lot of things. What's your opinion about them?
Free money. Nah, 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 that's horrible.
Uh,
Honestly, th- they did a lot of yapping. They talked a lot and they found out. I mean, they were our first siege, I believe. They were one of the first sieges we did. They were like our first as a nation sieging like another like civilized nation to say.
uh-huh.
They did a lot of they made propaganda against us, which I didn't like very much. I think you probably know this the image I'm talking of. Um,
Yes, I do.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was just it was becoming a less of an issue, and we were happy to call it quits there. We'd made our money, but they decided to make it personal. So
Uh-huh.
we'll take that money.
And obviously, if you come for the king, you better take him down, and they did not take you guys down.
No, no, or the problem was that I used to be in Shinsei as well, for
Oh,
a little
really?
while, and they tried to remake that, yeah, and with Bukachin and Kotel and others,
Uh-huh.
and they tried to remake that, and it honestly was a bit like frustrating to me because I think that Shinsei should have been left to rest in its mighty place, and they've, in my opinion, they somewhat took away from what a lot of us had spent a lot of time building, and
Kind
it
of tainted the
took away
glory
from
of
it a little bit.
Shinsei,
But
to say.
yeah,
I
but
see.
other than that, I mean, they're not bad people. I don't think. I think a lot of their members were quite upset about it. I didn't want. I don't want to delete the nation. I don't. Like. It's not like. I never like. I've had it done to me. It's not a nice thing to do. Like I spent a lot of time at LSR when I was in Iceland, like living there on my own for a bit. I came back when I'd quit CCNet to try help them all I could against
Hmm.
Caribbean Empire. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, obviously, a lot of your time before Quintessence was spent in Iceland. Like, I forget how much, but it was definitely over a month. And nowadays, nothing, besides Greenland, obviously, there isn't really much in Iceland. How did that pan out? What happened there? Why
I
did
moved.
you change from going to Iceland then into Thracia and the
I
Baltic?
I moved. The story of how it all happened was I was done with ETM. I'd lost enough money. I'd lost enough resources. Over time, I probably lost like millions of in-game on resources, items, fighting them when I didn't need to be. It wasn't my fight to be having. I'd given up in all honesty, and they let me leave. So I went to Iceland. And that was it really. I didn't really find the server much fun. And then I went to a couple sieges. I was bored one weekend. I logged on. Uh, Asked in chat if a side wanted me to fight for them. Got a couple messages. Um,
I
I
see.
wasn't allowed in any of the VCs or anything, and Torda
Uh-huh.
stood up for me and said, "This guy's trying to help you. Why wouldn't you let him in?" Um, and then he invited me to go join him, and I was like, it was a bit of a joke at first. It was like, "Oh, come join us," but he messaged me later saying it was being like he actually wanted me to. So I said, "Why not?" Went, and then Quinn happened. So
Yeah, then it was Quintessence all the way along.
yeah, now I can't get enough, which is great.
I see. Now, obviously, we've been kind of hinting at it throughout the interview. You obviously are a member of Quintessence leadership. Who is the official top of the echelon leadership of Quintessence?
I knew you were gonna ask this.
I had
The
to.
way Quinn works is very different. The way Quinn works is very different. Quinn is owned by five people. So there's five
Uh-huh.
people at the top of Quinn. There's Bunlick, OG Torda, Mr. Awesome Man, and Hank Alex and myself. Um, so we're leaders, but we essentially supply everyone to do whatever they want. Everyone in Quinn has a fair say. We listen to everyone the exact same. You could have joined Quinn a week ago, and you'll be valued as our own, like, say. Everyone gets a vote in what we do. What people want to do is what we want to do. We just try to have fun in Quinn. Quinn is a place where I was bored of the trying to run a nation, trying to get everyone to do stuff. But in doing that, we've created a weird ecosystem where everyone just wants to help because they get something out of everything. Everything we do, everyone gets their fair share back out of it. We have fun. We're a group of friends essentially. At the end of the day, we've got some high ranks who obviously advise for like military and stuff, but other than that, we're just a big group of friends that do what we want, and we just pool resources, and we have a lot of resources between everyone. So, and we make
I
a lot
see.
more doing it. So,
So it's very much a trust-based system, kind of similar to like
yeah, yeah.
family or something.
Well, everyone gets a chance in Quinn. As we've always said, everyone on the server will always be allowed one chance in Quinn.
I
Like,
see.
there's a couple of people like Wallop and Tuvilito who joined for a bit, and they were given their one chance. They'll never be allowed back. Like, those two have burned their bridges. Fair enough, they might never want to come back. They're doing whatever they want to do, but they will never be allowed back because we believe in one shot and trust, and they broke that trust that one time, and so there's no trust to be rebuilt anymore.
I see. Now, like, kind of in regards to that, what defines something as like breaking the trust? What makes it so that your chance runs out?
Leaving. If you leave without letting us know why, what you're doing, then all it says is, "Yo, I'm gonna go do this for a bit." It's like, all right, have fun. We'll see you soon. Like, we've never. It's not you have to stay in Quinn, stay Quinn, or you're done. But
Yeah,
it's we just believe in letting us know and being. It's just fairness at the end of the day. It's being fair. We're not asking for a lot other than just you letting us know what you're planning on doing. But
I see.
that's yeah.
So generally, what I've picked up about Quintessence for probably the past 30 minutes of the interview is that it's incredibly trust-based. It's not about reputation, it's not about stamps, it's not about wealth or
No.
money, it's about trust and capability, correct?
Well, I mean, we've got a lot of money and wealth as well.
Well,
That's a big
yeah.
help. I mean, but as long as everyone, we've got a belief between us all that we're just trying to have fun, and when that eventually runs out, it will be looking at the next steps.
Hmm.
But for now, everyone's having fun. We, whoever you are, there's a place there. Like, we've got members that people don't know as well as others, but they're going to get valued in our nation as the next person that could be Zisha, for example, could be valued as the same as someone that joined a week ago. Zisha does a lot for our nation, but she likes to yap, and that's funny, but that's what she does. So we respect that, and if she wants to do that, that's what she enjoys. She has her fun. We leave her to it.
I see. Now, with that, closing in after minute 33, I'd like to open it up to any subscriber questions. Obviously, we only have one person in the audience right now, although I do believe scrolling up, we have had a few questions. So, from Vectra, question, where is the Grand Theft Vectra engine?
He's got one. In one of the many gold vaults in Liberia.
Really? I see.
Yeah, we've got a couple.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, with that, again from Vectra, he asked us, I think about midway through, we were talking about ETM. He asked if Cultist was better, or if at the time, Coagula, better than it was before. And again, question, should the ETM Palace be destroyed?
Destroy that palace. Destroy that
Really?
palace.
Why?
What does it stand for anymore? It stands for an old broken nation that got occupied for 6 months. Which was me. It was me that got occupied. I'm not
Mhm.
avoiding that, but It's just I don't know what it stands for anymore.
I see. Well, with that, do you have any questions for me, or do you have any questions for the company as a whole?
Um, no, I think what you guys are doing is really good. I think it's good to have a news network out there. I like it
I
a
see.
lot. Um,
Oh, well, thank you.
I don't
Well,
know.
with that,
Yeah,
I think it's time for me to put in a few shameless plugins. Obviously, I've been skipping out on the shameless plugins for the past four interviews. So, anyway, the shameless plugin today is soon, probably within the next week, to celebrate the S.E.E. Secret Evil Empire Town anniversary. We're going to be doing S.E.E. Hide and Seek. So, for people who don't know, Secret Evil Empire, although it is only roughly like 60 something chunks, 80 chunks or whatever. Although it is only that size, it encompasses about 14 different layers of towns, of bunkers, of tunnels, of hills, and in general, it is one of the most history layered areas. It was a cultist bunker built on top of a Lusitania bunker, built on top of some crazy guy's thing, which then had a town built on it, which then I covered with grass and put another town on top of it, so on and so forth. So obviously this is going to be happening probably mid-June, early June, and it's going to be a hell of an event. So again, flyers will be coming out, invitations will be sent. If you're not invited, still come. There will be no free parking. But yeah, and anyway,
sounds like a hell of an event.
I mean, I plan on making it one. Anyway,
I'll be there.
with that, we close in on minute 36. So I can't think about anything else to ask you on. We've covered nearly almost all of the nations of Europe, Africa, Asia, North America, South America. We've covered Quinn history, we've covered your history. Is there anything
You're
else that you'd
lagging
like to
again,
talk
mate.
about?
You're lagging a little bit there.
Am I lagging a bit? Shoot. Okay, well, where was I? Anyway, so we've covered a lot of things today. We've covered Quint history, current relations with Quint and everywhere else. Do you want to cover anything else before we close out the interview?
No, not really. I think I mean I just came here to give you our side of the story. I think that lots of people view us as a big bad bully who like to bully littler nations, but I don't believe that we're here to do that.
I see. Well, it's been great having you on the show, Hurdsell. This is one of the good interviews that I've had in quite some time. And again, thank you for coming out. Thank you for doing an interview. I am Microwave One of the S.E.E. paper. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.
Bye.
Hold on one second. We're experiencing a lot of lag.